this will bring me back to the question I asked before. Well, that was in Rivers State. I asked of the strength, of PDP. Now, with the mass defection of PDP members into the APC, is the PDP actually, working to, at least curtail this defection? And why are people, members of the PDP, even defecting in the first place?
Well, you expect such occurrences, especially when a political party is out of power. And then what causes it, like in developed countries like US, people don't do that. But we have a situation in this part of the world where people see politics as an end itself, a means of survival. It ought not to be, okay? But having said that, I mentioned earlier that very soon the congresses will take place. There were a lot of issues. Even we here in Rivers State, we were in the middle of the issues in PDP because we supported our former governor here. We stood by him, even when he decided to go for the presidential ticket of the PDP. We stood by him and we gave him all the support. And we actually felt so bad that, he didn't get that ticket. All that happened. Even when he stood out to fight alongside the G5 governors, to make requests such as that now that North had clinched the presidential ticket, because it was part of the bargain they made then. Even Yocha himself, who was the national chairman of PDP then, made a promise that if a Northerner emerges, that he will relinquish the national chairmanship position to a Southerner. It became an issue. He did not. Are you hearing me? Yeah. We should begin to, when we want to talk about the problem of PDP, we'll begin to look at it from where it started. Not that PDP didn't have problems before then, but we're talking about the immediate cause of what we are experiencing today in PDP. Candidly, I would say, ordinarily in the first place, Atiku had no business aspiring to be president again for 2023 election, based on what happened in the past. I remember too well that in 2019, it was all Northern affairs. There was no Southerner that contested that primaries here in Port Harcourt. It was an all Northerners affairs. I remember too well that then our former governor then supported his friend Tambua, the immediate past governor of Sokoto State. But Atiku clinched the ticket. Now, these are things we talk about. An elder statesman like Atiku, he had been a vice president of Nigeria before. He's a respected personality. But it must not be about you. It should be about the people. What was too big? For instance, some people I didn't know, some people carried the rumor then that he said Wike was the reason he did not pull out, that they should have micro-zoned the presidential whatever to the southeast. But I don't believe that was true. First of all, what he should have done, if he wanted maybe if he wanted Obi or whoever from the southeast or whoever to clinch the ticket, what sacrifice is too big for him to, have decided to say, okay, with his supporters, throw their weight to whoever they feel they wanted to support from the southeast. It's an election. Because I told people that my analysis, as much as we were supporting Wike, I had my good reasons for doing so. What were my reasons? Jonathan, who is from South, became president by divine orchestration or by whatever, by the death of his boss there, Yaradua. He stood to complete up his tenure. But while he even tried to get elected in 2011, there was stiff opposition from the likes of people like Atiku and the rest of them. They fought tooth and nail to ensure they stopped him. Well, at the end of the day, he had his way. They didn't stop. Towards 2015, they ganged up. Even our own brother Hamichi joined them, and they ensured they stopped Jonathan from advancing. You know, Jonathan, yes, he got the PDP ticket, but he lost the general election to Muhammadu Buhari. Now, Buhari, what was part of the Atiku's explanations then, that it was the turn of the North. Now, Buhari has done 8 years
for the North.
For the North. So, what business did Atiku still have after North had done 8 years, being that he advocated for the turn of the North? And North had done 8 years. Now, Atiku had no business. They said, oh, it will take a northerner to win the election for PDP. Even people like Tambuwa moved from state to state in the south here to convince, and not knowing that some of our governors here, some of our leaders here bought into the crap. They bought into the crap that it will take a northerner to win the election here in Nigeria, you know, to win the election for PDP. Okay, even when the southern governors had their whatever in Delta states, I think what's his name, the erstwhile governor Ifeanyi Okowa, he was the one who hosted the southern governors forum. They came up with a communique that it's either a southern president or nothing. But what did we have at the end of the day? These are people who went behind doing horse trading. And Wike had all the genuine excuses to get angry. But even at that, on that day of the convention, right there in the velodrome at National Stadium, when he came out to make statement, he made a statement that whoever imagines here today that he will support the person. It was like a vow. Well, the election had come and gone. Wike lost. He came second, Atiku won. Thereafter, I think Atiku visited him, and later he also went to visit Atiku. And whatever they discussed and whatever they did, I think he gave his support. But along the line, maybe he made his own requests. Or but as things would happen at the time, they threw up his name that Atiku wanted to use him as running mate. And they even set up a committee. And that committee, majority of the committee, favored Wike for the vice presidential nomination. But to me, I saw it at the time when things happened the way it happened. I felt that it was a setup to humiliate him and destroy him politically. And then finally, what we now saw was that Atiku announced Okowa. You know, it was enough to make anybody get very angry. You understand? And the man fought on and tried to like say, okay, fine, no problem. We are still in PDP. Nothing spoiled. Not don't collect. Give back the national chairmanship to the to the south. I think this became an issue. At a point, they began to people like you derided Wike and his colleagues, calling them small boys. Understand? Calling them small boys. So anybody would want to, prove a point, and they decided to prove a point. At the end of the day, what happened? PDP lost the presidential election.